Yo, everybody, it's Daniel here, and welcome to my unboxing review of the SH Figuarts Nezuko-chan. Now, I know what you are all saying right now, but DK, you haven't even reviewed the Tanjiro yet. That's because I don't actually care that much about Demon Slayer, and I definitely don't care about Tanjiro that much. I will be getting the Tanjiro, I will review it, but I'm waiting for the American release. And I think I just got the BBTS notification that he was going to be coming out like any day now. So, yeah, my next pile of loot, I will have that Tanjiro, and I will review it for you guys eventually, but I don't actually care that much about him, so I was okay with waiting the time for the American release so I could get it for that retail price, $35 retail price. That's like the only reason I'm really even getting it. I really don't care about Tanjiro at all. But Nezuko, on the other hand, y'all know I love me some Nezuko, and let's be real here. Let's call a spade a spade. This Figma is kind of trash. I mean, it's a decent effort. I don't want to be too mean to it, but this is probably the one figure I've ever collected that I would consider like genuinely unposable. This thing does not look good in any pose aside from just standing straight up, like completely default, nothing else. Like you can get like tiny little emotion in the hand, but nothing with the legs. From the waist down, you can't do anything with this fucking figure. Let me rephrase that. Obviously, there's plenty of articulation down here. You can't do anything with this figure from the waist down. You can't do anything with this figure and have it look good. Trust me, I have tried so many times, and I am so excited to see how SHF tackles this character that I do love, even though I'm not that big of a Demon Slayer fan. I like Demon Slayer. I think it's a good show. I think it's better than a lot of people give it credit for, but I don't think it's the best show ever either. But I'm very, very, very interested in seeing how SH Figuarts tackles this character. I want to see SHF quality on a Nezuko. I want to see the articulation. I want to see what SHF has to offer for this character. And yeah, this is my first full way into the new Demon Slayer line. Let's see how it goes. I have watched, I think I watched, what's his name? Toy Front, I think, on YouTube. I love the guy's reviews. Very informative, very, very good. I watched his review of this, and I think it looks really, really cool. So, without further ado, let's jump in to the review and start off by taking a look at the packaging. On the front, we have Nezuko-chan, and we have Bandai Tamashii Nation's seal of approval right there. We have Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, SH Figuarts, Bandai Namco. On the side, we have Nezuko-chan, and we have Nezuko-chan, and on the back, we have a bunch of product shots of Nezuko-chan, and tons of faces for Nezuko-chan, and a bunch of product shots right there of the figure Nezuko-chan. And with that being said, let's get Nezuko-chan out of the packaging. Okay, right off the bat, I definitely have some thoughts. Just like with the Figma, there's a lot going on here. Like, it's a much heavier figure than you would usually expect from, especially SH Figuarts. SH Figuarts figures, they're high quality, but they're not usually like all that heavy. They're usually a pretty good weight. This might be the heaviest SH Figuarts I have ever collected. And I will say there's some things right off the bat that I like about it way more than the Figma. I like the hair sculpt better. The hair sits a lot more naturally than over here. I don't like this hair sculpt, and I even tried to fix it by separating these pieces. I think these pieces used to be like connected or something. Oh no, these pieces used to be connected right here, and I separated those to hopefully make it look a little bit more natural, but it didn't really do anything. You know, I was grasping at draws right here. This figure's just not very good. Credit where credit is due, it's a difficult design to make an action figure of. Nobody is gonna deny that. Absolutely nobody will deny that. But already right off the bat, I much prefer the hair sculpt on the SHF Nezuko compared to the Figma. I also prefer the outfit. I prefer how this sits a lot more naturally, like it sits kind of straight instead of this that kind of flares out a lot more. I definitely prefer this. I also prefer the look. I like the much more, you can see like the style of the face sculpt right here. I like the SHF a lot more than the Figma. I will say that the SHF is a little bit more plasticky than I would personally like. Like you can see, it's a little bit more plasticky than I would personally like. It looks a little bit worse on camera than it does in person. This definitely does look a little bit more plasticky, but I like the eyes on this one more. The eyes look almost like lit up. Isn't that true? Doesn't it kind of look like they're like lit up, like it's got like a glisten to it? I really, really like it compared to these eyes right here. Not bad. Oh, this face is not bad at all, but I think I prefer this SHF. So yeah, already right off the bat, I think I already like the SHF better. Now, we will see by how much I like the SHF better by the end of the video. Again, it's not difficult to do better than the Figma Nezuko. This figure it's again, credit where credit is due. It's a very difficult figure to make an action figure of. And Figma tried. Good Smile tried. Max Factory tried. Oh no, maybe Freeing. Freeing did a lot of the Demon Slayer figures. I don't know. But they tried. It's not the best figure ever, but they gave it an attempt. At least it's posable. Credit where credit is due. Now, with that being said, let's take a closer look at the SHF right here. Face, as I said, is beautiful. I do think the skin looks a little bit more plasticky than I would personally like, but it's not too horrible. It's not a deal breaker. You got the little thing right here in the hair. Is that even on the Figma? Yeah, it is. I guess I just never really pointed out to it, but yeah, you got her little hair ornament right there, looking great. And then the hair, and of course, like I said earlier, I love the sculpt of the hair. You got the little orange sections down here, really, really nice, really nicely done. These are posable a little bit as well, which is really nice. Talk about that more in articulation. Got the little bamboo thing right there in her mouth. Looks really good. You can take that out. You have full control over whether you want to have that on or off, and you have it, and you can do it with any face, which is really, really cool. Moving down to the torso right here, her kimono looks really, really, really good. Again, I much prefer this very like subdued, straightforward look right here. I also prefer the shade of pink that they used on the SHF far more than the Figma. Yeah, in general at the moment, the SHF is basically better than the Figma in every single way, like literally every single way. But yeah, continuing on, you got the little strands right here. Even these are much nicer. On the Figma, these things are super annoying. They get in the way all the time. You're just like, get the fuck out of the way. On this one, somehow they manage to have them, but they don't get in the way at all. They're just down here, and they're just kind of sitting naturally. I just love how natural it looks. It's so much better. And then moving down to the skirt section of the kimono right here, looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, they didn't include the dynamic pieces like the Figma one does, but honestly, I never use them anyway, so I don't care. I absolutely do not care. We'll take a look at the articulation in just a second, though, but it looks really, really good. The robe right here as well, it's a softer plastic right here. On the Figma, they took the approach of having the harder plastic, and I will say they did a decent job on this with the Figma. Harder plastic, but it's posable right there. And it is a decent job. I do kind of like how they did that right there, but I mean, if it means we can have this much more naturally looking cloak right here, or whatever it's called, it's definitely going to be superior 100%. But yeah, the soft plastic, it is a little bit weird since I've had the Figma for so long. It does feel a little bit weird having this like rubbery kind right here, but I think I like it. I do. And then moving down the legs right here, little shoes right there, really, really nice right there. The shoes, nice pink picked out right there, and there's the bottom right there. Again, they didn't put the thing going all the way through, a little pink dot right there, but that's fine, of course. And you got some nice sculpting right there as well. Yeah, overall, figure looks absolutely amazing. The arms right here, there's some nice wrinkle work in there. Definitely looking forward to checking out the articulation, which we're actually going to do right now. So for the head movement right here, you do have some pretty good head movement right there. Looks like it might be on a double joint, right, on a double ball peg right there. So you get a good amount of up, some good down as well. I think there's probably a ball joint at the base of the neck as well. And then you get some good tilt right there. Obviously with Nezuko, head sculpt is always going to have a little bit of hindrance because of the design of the character. You have all this hair right here that you have to work with right here. But this is pretty darn good. I think the Figma does get more articulation, but it doesn't look anywhere near as good. Like this, it looks crazy. Like this figure is just insane because like the hair is super flared out. So you bring it out here and the hair looks ridiculous. Or you bring it out here, it's also just super duper loose. It's just not good. With this, the hair sits a lot more naturally, so it's not all the way in the way. You can just kind of move it around and it still looks good. The hair still looks good back there, so it's really, really nice. Moving down to the torso right here, you have, looks like a small hinge right here in the torso right there. Not too much. The Figma's definitely going to get more, but it doesn't matter because you're never going to want to pose that Figma anyway, so yeah. But yeah, there's some good movement right there. Of course, the design of the character is going to hinder this a little bit, but that's the gimmick there. She has that additional bottom leg right there, so you can do that. But yeah, that's all the torso movement that you can realistically get. Not too great. You're not going to unfortunately be able to get her in a Nezuko running pose, but still pretty darn cute. I do like it. And then for the arms right here, you got some good movement right there, all the way up right there, and you do get some butterfly right here. Not a ton, of course, but you do get a little bit right there. Some decent butterfly right there. And then the arm right here, we get a little bit over 90 degree right there. I'm actually curious. I want to see the comparison between this and the Figma. How much more does the Figma get? There we go. I think it's about the same. I think the Figma and the SHF get about the same right there, so that's nice. And then the hands, I imagine, is standard SH Figuarts. You got the ball joint going into the hand right there, so we can go up and down right there. Is it? Oh, no, we got some, oh, yeah, it is. It is ball joint, but it's kind of like a thinner, like peg-like ball joint, which is nice. Might be a little bit easier to pop them in and on and back on, which is really nice. Off and on. Very, very cool. And then for the legs, of course, like I said, these pieces are on hinges right there, so they can hinge out right there, which is nice. These are on, this is in 3 separate pieces right here. Got that extra piece right there. Ooh, all 3 of them on it are on hinges, too. That's really nice. I like that all 3 of those are on hinges, so you get some good poses right there. And then these sections right here, let's see here. These, I don't mean to be a creep, I'm sorry. Yes, these are on, this is actually pretty similar to the Figmas. These are actually on like very similar joints right here. So these can move out and these can flare out a little bit, and then you bring them back in and it will look natural still. just like that. So unlike with the Figma, it's not absolutely perfect. Like, it doesn't look absolutely perfect, but you can get a little bit of splayed out right there. And when you compare that to the Figma, you can see this. I mean, it's just not the best design. Like, you bring this out. I'm sorry if you can't see. You bring this out, and it just kind of looks like, yeah, it just never really looks like good. And then you can see her underwear through there as well. Like, I don't know, man. It's just not good. I think this looks a lot better, like a lot better. It is obviously still going to be hindered because of this. And I will say that, yes, the Figma does include those additional pieces down here, but they are a pain in the butt to change. And even every single time, I've tried so many freaking times. Hang on. I have tried so many times to get this damn Figma Nezuko in a good pose with those flared out pieces right there. The flared out freaking... These, I have tried so many times to use these to my advantage to make a cool Nezuko pose. Every single time I've done it, I've immediately put these back on because these look horrible. They just don't work. It's absolutely not a win from this figure over this. Yes, they include them. They're not good. They're not useful. This wins. This is just nicer. It looks better in the neutral pose. It looks better when it's played out right there. There's absolutely no freaking world where the way that they did it on this is better than this. Absolutely no way in hell, man. I am pretty impressed. I am. But this section right here is not on a hinge right there. That is just all connected. And then the legs right here, the legs are on ball joints. Yeah, the legs are on ball joints, so they get some good up right there. And then you can kind of like, you obviously are going to be super hindered this way, but they do include an accessory to help you with that. So you're not 100% out of luck with that at all. But you do have some good movement right there. Obviously, legs are on the articulation right there. It's a really nice joint. It's nice and stiff. I definitely like it. And then you have a double jointed bend right there. Well, not a double jointed bend, single jointed bend. But of course, the design of the character, it doesn't really matter that there's not a double jointed bend because you're not going to be able to kick her own ass anyway. But yeah, it's pretty good. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of hindrance in the legs right here because the basic design of the character, of course. They definitely should make a demon form as well. I would definitely be down for SHF tackle a demon form right there. It could be a lot more posable, get her in a lot more better poses. And then the feet right here, of course, you have the up, down, ankle pivot, and toe joint right there. This figure is just, honestly, this figure, no joke, honestly, feels just like a much better refined version of the Figma. Honestly, like there's a lot of similarities here. Same way they did the cloak right here. Same thing for this. Same thing for this. Like all of this is pretty similar to the Figma. It just feels so much better. Like this was the prototype and this is the final product. Like even the way they look, this looks like the prototype. This looks like the final product. Alrighty, now for comparison, let's start off by bringing in my Figmas here. There's Inosuke and there is Zenitsu right here. No word on whether SHF is going to be tackling these characters. Honestly, I really like these figures. I think these are much better than the Figma Nezuko. I actually think Figma did a great job on these, especially this Inosuke. I really think this Inosuke will be tough to beat if SHF tackles that character. But yeah, these look great together. I know you're all like, but DK, you don't have Tanjiro still. I know, we'll get him. We'll get him. Don't worry. I promise. By the end of the year, there will be a review on him and there will be a Tanjiro in the collection. I'm sorry, I'm just in no hurry. I really don't think Tanjiro is anything special. Yeah. And again, I like Demon Slayer, but it's a casual. It's a casual like. I do like the show, but at no point has the show really ever meant anything to me. Now for some other comparisons, here she is with my previous review, the SH Figuarts Itachi Uchiha. Here she is with my other previous review before that, the SH Figuarts Sukuna. Both absolutely amazing figures, and if you haven't checked those out, definitely do. Oh, yeah, I think they did a great job in the scale here. Like, I don't want SHFs to be too small because then they don't feel fun to play with. Like, okay, this is actually a good thing to talk about. Okay, look. Let's bring in Naruto right here. Let's bring in Naruto. Put him right there in the middle, right there. Okay, here's the thing. Is the scale here 100% accurate? Are these kid figures in scale with these adult figures or these teenager figures? And I think it's pretty obvious that they're not. I think it's pretty obvious that these two figures are not in scale, or not in proper scale with these figures. But I actually think it's for the best because this figure's super fun to pose. This figure, I mean, I haven't really posed it much yet, but it already feels significantly more fun to pose than the SH Figuarts Free Red, which is a teeny tiny little SHF. I'm sorry, I actually get rid of it. Or hell, better example, Anya. This is probably about the size that Nezuko will be, maybe about here to Sukuna. That's probably the size she would be. But would that have been a fun figure? Is this a fun figure to pose? Not even remotely. That would not have been a fun figure. They've improved the scale here, made the scale a little bit off, but still looks good because it's still a kid, so it's still a little bit shorter, but it's still fun to pose. This is absolutely excellent decision making on Tamashii Nation's part. And like here, let's bring in Nobara and Sakura here. These are clearly not in scale. Obviously, this is a child, these are two teenagers, and they're almost the exact same height as each other. Let's throw Power in there. Let's throw Mina in there. Look at this. These are all almost the exact same size as each other. This is obviously not in scale with Nezuko. But am I complaining? Do I consider that a bad thing? No, I don't. Because that means that this figure is still going to be fun to pose. It's not in scale, whatever. I don't care if it's in scale. If it's not fun to pose, I'm never going to want to touch it. 2 thumbs up from me, Tamashii Nations. Alrighty, and before we jump into accessories, here she is with the Chodo Super Action Shono Giovanna, the Figma Kaiji Ito, the Amazing Yamaguchi Todoroki, and the U2's Asta. Just get a basic sense of her size overall, how she scales with some other lines right here, and Asta. SHF, make a fucking Asta! I hate everybody who hates Black Clover. Black Clover is better than Demon Slayer. But with that being said, I really like this figure. Let's jump into the accessories. God damn, I did not realize how many freaking faces she has. So, of course, you have her default face on in the packaging. And as I've already said, I think this face is amazing. But we get 5 extra faces, so 6 in total. So we get another happy face right here. This looks like this kind of looks like the expression she makes in the last episode of Season 3, the Swordsmith Village arc. If you've seen that episode, then you know what happens and you know why she's making this face right here. I just remembered about that. By the way, I'm not caught up. I have not watched Season 4 yet. I think I might even wait all the way till the Infinity Castle arc is out to watch Season 4. There is this face right here, this nice angry face. I like it, kind of stern, I like it. And of course, you have the option to use the scroll or not use the scroll on any of these faces. We'll take a look at that in just a second right here, but that looks really good. Then we get a closed eye happy face right here. I'm not really a closed eye face fan, but this is okay. I may use this every now and then. And then we get a more angry face right here. Very, very cool. You can see they even sculpted some veins popping out right there. Some veins right there and there and there. Very cool. This is like her on the cusp of going demon form, but not all the way. And last but not least, we have this funny comedic relief face, which will be awesome to use with your Zenitsu, whether you have the Figma or the Buzz mod, or if you're watching this in the future and SHF has made a Zenitsu. I do think SHF could probably make a pretty decent Zenitsu. I heard really good things about the Tanjiro. I'm just waiting to get mine. But yeah, this is adorable. I love that you have the mouth right there. That's cute, because on the Figma, they had this face, but it was stuck with the scroll permanently. So let's pop off the face right here. So you can see the freaking fringe right here. It's just this tiny little piece right there. Just pop that off. And then pop... I think you got... Yeah, you have to pull the scroll down. Not the scroll. Just pull that down, and then you can swap the face, I believe. Yeah, just like that. You can pop the face off right there. Now the scroll, you actually have to pop the head off, don't you? Yeah. You have to pop the head off right there. It comes out pretty easily. So you have the head right there. You have the scroll right there. I keep calling it the scroll, the bamboo thing right there. And you can see the pegs right there where that slots into right there. So you have full control on whether you want that in or out. So take whichever face you want to. Let's go with this happy face right here. So you put that on right there. Put her thing back on, the fringe. Just like that. It's very small, so it's kind of fiddly, but just get that on, and then peg that on right there. So you can see you don't have the bamboo on, but you have Happy Nezuko right there. Very, very cool. But if you want to, you can just pop up. that extends! That extends for more movement, although it doesn't really seem like it gets more movement. Maybe a little bit more. Actually, yeah, I think it does get ever so slightly more. She might be able to pull off those Nezuko running poses now. Bro, that's a nice touch, Tamashii. That's a very nice touch. Well done. Yeah, I kind of love this figure, man. Yeah, I'm so happy to have a good Nezuko finally, although, yeah, I will admit, this isn't a problem, but the idea of having, like, all these options and being able to put the scroll on, not the scroll, I know it's not a scroll, whatever, I keep calling it that, so I'm just going to keep going with it. You can just pop that on right there. You can have any expression, although, honestly, that looks exactly the same as the default one, so it's not like the Gojo, the high school Gojo, where the glasses makes it look like a whole new expression, a whole new face. No, but it's still really nice that you have the option. Me, personally, though, I think I'm just going to go with a nice default expression with the scroll right there. I really like that. Like, you can't even see the mouth right there. Yeah, really, like, I really think that this is just a way, way refined version of the Figma. Now for alternate hands, she has these really fun little, like, flat hands in the packaging right there. I like those. Those are cute. And then you get a pair of relaxed hands or splayed out hands right here are pretty cool. You might be able to use them for action poses as well. Very cool. And then you get a pair of fists as well. So very nice. I like them. I don't think this is a character you need to change the hands on like super often. So it's nice that they actually went more on other accessories like faces and this other accessory we're going to talk about right now than hands. But you do get one more hand as well. You get this one, which you can use to have her holding Tanjiro's hand right there, which is super cute. I love this. I love this. And if you decide not to get Nezuko, then you're going to miss out on this accessory. So if you get Tanjiro but not Nezuko, you're going to be missing out on this accessory. So definitely a reason to pick up this Nezuko. And also, this figure's great. And the final accessory before we get into the final thoughts is these sitting legs right here. So in order to make these work, should be pretty self-explanatory. We just need to pop her apart at the legs right here. And that stands up on its own. And then you can just take that off right there, make it easier for yourself. I think we need to unplug these legs right here. Unplug these legs right here. It's pretty tight. There we go, not too bad. It's got a nice little design right there. And right here as well. It's like they latch in, I think. Not too bad, though. Pop those out, and then pop them back in, of course, in the right order. That side right there, and that side right there. And I don't think there's any articulation in these legs. No, this is all totally sculpted. But you can have those like that, and then pop her back together in the torso right here. Although there's that little piece right there. Oh, you need to take these off too, don't you? Do you need to take these off? Ah, you do. So it's a little bit more complicated than I thought previously. There we go. It's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt to get all this back on. It's a character that no matter what, the figure will always be kind of a pain in the butt. And why is it still not working? You got to like get this in the cone right there and then pop that on. And there you go. Now you can have Nezuko sitting. And we can just bring in a chair and just have her sit down. The hair's going to get in the way. Okay, let me try something else. And we can just bring in like an acrylic riser right here and just sit her down right there. The hair still kind of gets in the way, though. It's kind of annoying. So you can hinge the hair back about this much. These are on pegs right here, so you could pop them off if you wanted to, but you could just bring them back and just bring them back a little bit more right here so she has the space to sit down right there. Yeah, this is just a lot of work to make this happen. You got to take off all the stuff. You even got to take off like the cloak piece and all that. It's going to be really annoying to get all that back on. It'll be nice though if you want to have her like sitting on like the edge of your shelf or something. Like that'd be really cool. Yeah, honestly, I don't really like it. I don't, because the hair is still too long. So it still constantly gets in the way. You can see her butt right here. The hair hangs down lower than her butt. And this is strong. It's not like super, I mean, it is pliable, but it's still strong enough to where it totally, it ruins it. It ruins it. It ruins all of it. So yeah, probably shouldn't have even bothered. Probably should have just tried to include like I don't know, an effect piece or something like that. This was good in concept, but it's a lot of work to get it there. And then they needed to include some extra hair pieces as well, some shorter hair pieces that allowed her to do this because it just doesn't work. Look at what they used in this picture right here. It's literally like the perfect, like, clear cube. It's like the perfect clear cube right there. Like, who the fuck has that? I have this. And still, the hair kind of gets in the way. Yeah, not good. Yeah, it's not good. I say no. It's a no from me, dog. It's for that reason that I am out. So yeah, one done, but overall, let's jump into the final thoughts. You can pull this out right here to make it a little bit easier to plug all this in. The one with all the words on it right there is going to be the one that goes in the middle. At least they go back in easily. And then that one on this side, and that one on this side. Just like that. There we go. At least that's not too hard to put back in. There are some ball joints in the forearms as well. You can see the forearms do move as well, which is nice. That's some extra posability as well. Alrighty, so final thoughts on the SH Figuarts Nezuko. Well, unfortunately, I still feel as though we have not reached the apex of Nezuko action figures. There is still the Buzz mod that I have not experienced. I've heard good things about it. I honestly don't like the way it looks, and I'm not gonna be getting it, so yeah, don't expect that. But I feel as though we still have yet to reach the perfect Nezuko action figure. That being said, in my experience, this is by far the closest we have come. There's still problems. The character's design inherently is going to make an action figure more difficult than average characters. Like, this is not Sakura. There's nothing here to get in the way of this design. Not even the hair. There's absolutely nothing here. You can pose the hell out of that figure because of the design of the character. This design inherently is going to be more restricted than other characters, and it's very clear to see that, judging by the fact that I now have two figures of this character, and neither of which I think are still like particularly like the pinnacle of what the character deserves. Like, I still don't think I'm going to pose this figure all that often. Do I like it? Am I going to keep it? Yeah, I am. I do. I definitely like this better than the Figma. 100% I like this better than the Figma. Way better. Just inherently. Like, outside of everything, it looks better. The pink is better. The way that the dress sits on her is so much better. It's so much more natural. The way the hair flows is so much better, so much more natural. I just way prefer the look of this figure. And like I've already complimented these face sculpts, they did a really great job on the eyes for these face sculpts right here. But that being said, this is just still not a character I'm really going to pose all that often. I guess it's not just the fact that the Figma is unposable. It's the fact that this isn't a character that I guess just lends itself to being posed very well. So inherently an action figure of her is not going to be the greatest action figure in the world. But for what this figure is, I actually think this is pretty great. I honestly like this figure quite a bit. This is a total bust. Maybe I might be able to find use for it. If I do, I will update you guys in a community post, but I don't know, you have to do a lot of work to get here, and then the hair just totally gets in the way, so you still can't even get her looking good. They should have went all the way and included some additional hair sculpts as well that were like laying flat, like include some extra hairs that are like going down here and then let's go like flat right here. That would have been really nice, but no, they were still kind of lazy, kind of cheap, couldn't go all the way. You know, they give you this, but didn't give you the other things that you need. It's not, this in my opinion is not really good. That being said, I still think this figure is head and shoulders above the Figma, and maybe I will pose the hell out of this, I don't know. I will say that the dress, because this is like sculpted right here, and it's not hinged at all, the legs, again, are gonna be borderline unposable. The arms, you got more posability. You don't really have a ton of hands in here. Yeah, this character just inherently is not one that you're gonna pose very often, I guess. So it's not just the Figma that's the problem. The Figma absolutely is way weaker than this SHF. Like, you just look at them and tell that the SHF is so much better, so much higher quality. I definitely feel like a really good attempt right here at a really great Nezuko figure. I feel like Tamashii Nation set out to make the best Nezuko. I still don't think they've made it, though. I still don't think they've made it. I still think that there is still things that could be improved on this design. That being said, I do recommend it. I like this figure quite a bit. The quality is there. Articulation is pretty much the same as the Figmas, in all honesty, but it looks way better. Like, I cannot stress enough how much better I think this looks, just because of how the robe sits naturally. The freaking kimono sits naturally. It's not flaring out like this. The hair is sitting naturally. It's just laying straight down. It's not like all flared out like this. That just inherently makes this better. Also, the pink on the kimono, it's just better. It's just better. So my final grade for the SHF Nezuko, I like it quite a bit, actually. I don't know if this is going to make my top 10 of the year, but I'm pretty darn happy with it, and I think I'm actually probably good now. I mean, again, I'm not going to pose this figure very often, but it's not a character that really needs to be posed. She just kind of looks cute. Like, no matter what, she just always kind of looks cute. That's just Nezuko's thing. She's cute. And this figure's going to sit on my shelf and look cute, and I'm not going to want to blow it up like the Figma. So yeah, I give you a thumbs up, Tamashii Nations. We still haven't reached peak Nezuko, but I think you've probably gotten the closest yet. So there you have it. My final grade for this figure, I'm gonna end with an A-. I think in terms of a Nezuko action figure, this is probably the best one out right now. But I still feel like we might be able to do better. And again, it might just be this design for the character. If they were to give us a demon version, it would probably be significantly more fun to pose. So we'll see in the future if that happens. But yeah, I think an A-. I definitely feel a drive to make a good figure here. I feel like they tried to earn the money, not 100% made it because of this thing not being very well thought thought out. And I like that they included the ability to take the scroll off and on at your will. All the extra face sculpts as well. You have 6 faces in here. I think that's even more than the Figma one came with. So yeah, there's a lot to like here. I also love that you can have this face without the scroll. That is amazing because again, the Figma, you couldn't take the scroll off for that face. So I really like that. That's really cute. So yeah, personally, I like the figure. I do. A-. Thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give me a like and subscribe for some more anime action figure reviews in the future. Let me know your thoughts on the SH Figuarts Nezuko in the comment section down below. And yeah, let me know everything you want to say. Thank you all so much for watching the video. And this is DK Guillotine, signing out.